and welcome to the 10th episode of Expert Talk Show webinar. This webinar is a part of the CSR's corporate social responsibilities of Falcon City of Wonders. Please welcome with me His Excellency Harith Al-Musa, the Vice Chairman of Falcon City, and the host of this webinar, Mr. Al-Harith. Welcome, and thank you very much for all your efforts.
Thank you very much, Jassim, and I would like to take this opportunity first to thank Dr. Arif and Jacob for joining us on today's 10th episode. It is fantastic that they can dedicate some of their precious time and give back to the community some of their experience and most important matters that will improve our lives in the future. So again, I would like to thank them for their time, their efforts, and their participation and cooperation. Thank you, Doctor, and thank you, Yaqub. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Indeed. Thank you very much. And please welcome with me Dr. Arif Al-Noorani, the CEO of Al-Qasimi Hospital and the head of dietary centers. Dr. Arif, we are so delighted to have you today in our Expert Talks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Al-Harith, for hosting us today, and Mr. Jassim for inviting me to this prestigious Experts Talk tonight. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. And I hope we could add something tonight and talk together and share with you our experience, what happens in the real world in our field. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. And please welcome with me, Mr. Dovershek, personal fitness and lifestyle coach. Welcome, Captain, and we are so excited to have you today, and we'd like to hear from you and to coach us today.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a true honor.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, all of us knows the importance of being healthy, personal, and how important the health and how we can sustain our futures. But all of us knows the challenge in the life and the day-to-day and how the life is stressed around us. Therefore, today at the Expert Talks, we would like to know from our expert here, what are the 4 hacks for health futures? Therefore, I would like to start my questions first with Dr. Arif Al-Noorani. How does the mental stress affecting the health, Doctor?
Well, first of all, what is stress? Now, we have so many definitions about stress. Now, we can summarize, simplify that stress means kind of a feeling. It's an emotional, mental, and could be also physical kind of tension that triggered by certain events or occasions. And also can be defined as a kind of failure of behavioral, psychological, and physiological adaptation to challenges that we face on every day. Now, mind, heart, tail has been long story. It's nothing new. And this is a relation between the mind and the body. It's kind of interaction that happens most of the time. And been always challenging scientists to find a correlation between the two. Certainly, there are some kind of theories being adopted lately about what could be predispositions or kind of predispositions factors that what could be, which kind of people may get this kind of stress or not. So they have found that there are kind of, for instance, age. Most of those patients that having some kind of more stress are basically between the 3rd and 5th decade. And the sex, they found that females are more affected by this than male. And the psychological type A, which is we know by time type A and type B personalities, psychiatry, they explain that that kind of person that has a lot of stress with the time, urgency, kind of ambitious type, always in a hurry to get what he wants. And type B is the one who's relaxed and taking things easy, which we will try to find the balance between them. We don't want that. So stresses of life. When we say stress, we know that there are a lot of kind of factors and things that can affect us and have an impact in our life. We mentioned finance, health, work, relationship in life, and family and friends, certainly. So top 10 successful events, they mentioned more or less related to marriage and partners. Actually, unfortunately, it's about spouse death, divorce, marriage, separation, and then marriage itself, fire from job, death of close relatives, marriage reconciliation. So more or less related to the family atmosphere somehow, plus a job. So what this affects, I mean, once you get triggered by a certain situation, emotional, what happens to your body? There is certain cascade. It's like a process, physiological reaction from the body to your situation. So mentally, some hormones get released due to signals from the brain. And then the most important hormone called adrenaline or noradrenaline, which we call stress hormone. This has a lot of impact on your body physiology. So it increases the heart rate, it increases the blood pressure, it raises the sugar level in the body. It has a lot of effect on the heart, kind of heartbeat becoming a little bit disturbed, might get what we call ischemia. And that might sometimes also lead to fatal consequences. We call it sudden death to that extent. So what can cause this kind of stress? It can cause us major problems with the heart. One of them is attack. We can know about sudden cardiac death that I mentioned now, that sudden player in the football field, after a few minutes, he falls down and collapses on the ground, heart failure, and disturbed heartbeats. So this all prolonged kind of straining the heart muscle in a way that makes you, the longer, certainly, the most impact it has. And the most impact gets the immune system of the body. That is also something we can talk about because it weakens, the stress weakens the immune system. Everything goes into different direction, damaging the memory circuit in the brain. Also promotes the functional obesity. The more stress you have, the more you get easy access to the obesity, unfortunately. And so they have found in many studies that even if we go and treat those patients with type A, for instance, kind of personality, the reduction of heart attack and kind of events with them, it's really dramatic. So if we could change their lifestyle and give some kind of the therapy, group therapy or some psychological therapy, they get very much benefit from reducing the risk of getting heart attacks in the future. Now, they also mention sometimes broken heart syndrome. Somebody sometimes gets a sudden severe emotional, especially with the relationships, that they get some kind of sudden deterioration, collapsing the heart pump function. That is also something proven to be scientific evidence behind it. Now, what do we do about this? We have so many things that causing stress in our life. So now the question will be, you know that the life is full of those stressful situations, and those land you in a place that you have risk factors of high lipid, high sugar, high blood pressure, high heart rate, and you land up in a doctor in a clinic at the end of the day, and there you go, starts your day in a totally different direction. So what we want to say, they have found also that this heart problem can have a major impact on depression. And depression or an anxiety also could be related very closely to each other. So we have seen about more than 20% of heart patients have depression, major depression. And we can see vice versa. Patients with depression now, they are getting heart attacks and heart problems. So it's like a circuit, you don't know where to start with. So they are tightly correlated with each other, heart problems and depression, mental stress. This is in summary what I wanted to say about.
Thank you, doctor. You know, that will drive me to ask Yaqub. He's the coach life and fitness. I'm sure you have your own way to explain to us, Yaqub, about the way of physical fit that will help us during our current time. So could you please tell us more about it?
Perfect. So first of all, I cannot do anything else but agree 100% with Dr. Arif, because he has a much deeper insight into this. And I know that most viewers are going to expect some tangible takeaway points, like all I need to do is these 4 things and suddenly everything's going to turn around, right? We need to understand that our body that carries us through life is our vessel through life, and we unfortunately have only one. We need to take care of it. But it only listens to the commands being sent from up here. So everything starts with the correct mindset. So if there is a stressful situation in your life, like let's say a reduction in your salary, or perhaps you might lose your job, or if we have been all working from home during those difficult times, those are circles of influence in your life. And there are certain circles you cannot influence, and there are circles which you can influence, and there is a slight overlap, right? And in that overlap, all that matters is what emotion do you now manifest towards those conditions. So you can look at it one way, like, oh, now I'm working from home. What if they're gonna let me go from work, and now I'm gonna just be doing binge eating to emotionally now try to cover that up? Or I can also have a positive emotion saying, well, now I have so much more time to work on all those things I've been telling my friends I will work on, that I now can finally dedicate the time and start doing this, right? And it's also many times about the terminology that you use in your self-dialogue or self-monologue, you can say. If you keep saying words like, I will try to lose weight, or I will try to go for a walk, I will try to eat better, then guess what? You will be trying for the rest of your life, and it's not going to be an enjoyable life to live. But if you change the terminology in your head and you say, I'm now going to take steps towards better health. I'm going to eat better. That means I will plant it already in the supermarket. I'm going to introduce movement into my life. That means I will start going for a walk. I'm going to do something about it. You will achieve those results. So it's really many times in the morning when we wake up, none of us likes to get out of bed, no matter if we have to go to work, your work, my work, or if you want to go for a walk, you want to go to the gym, ride a bicycle. Most likely the first emotion you have in your head, I don't want to do this. It doesn't feel good to me. I want to stay in my comfort zone. And the easiest thing to do is snooze the alarm and continue sleeping, right? If you, however, immediately, consciously put a positive thought into your head, I'm going to improve my health. I'm going to be there for my children going forward. And how will I then feel an hour later when I have accomplished what I set to do? I feel success. I start my day with a small win, and that win then carries over into other wins. The way you treat your colleagues, the way you walk into a sales meeting, the way you conduct your cold call on the phone, you carry already the winning mentality with you. But how will you feel if you snooze the alarm? You already set up a negative emotion in your head. You failed yourself, the most important person to you, that you set an appointment the night before, you failed on that person, on your future self. And now you carry a loss that you bring with you to the office, or you carry a loss which you bring to you in a Zoom meeting, and then you just keep whining negative emotions and you feel bad about yourself. And that leads to the stress which you just discussed. Many times we create the stress in our own head. There might be things we have absolutely no impact over. And guess what? The COVID-19 situation happened to everyone currently watching this, everyone around the world. No one was excluded from this. But yet you have people who had adopted and they thrive. You have people who lost all the way they always wanted to lose. And then you have millions of people who use this as a wonderful excuse to let go of themselves, to go back to binge eating, back to doing nothing. Yet we all started with the same 24 hours in exactly same situation. So I would like to give you now some takeaway things that you can do. And I will love to express myself with analogies. Many times fitness is being misunderstood, maybe due to social media or due to action heroes in movies, something which requires blood, tears, and sacrifice, and is all pain, no gain, is you need to leave it all on the floor. But guess what? Life is not a Rocky movie. It's your life, and you need to now take fitness and incorporate it into your life as a small but important, viable, and sustainable part of your life. There is no point of signing up for gym membership, hiring a trainer, training 6 times per week to complete physical exhaustion, if after 1 month you quit. It's like saving money. You have to set aside a small amount for a long time, and then you're going to save money. You're going to have that amount of money in your savings account. If you're saying going to try to save money and you put away too much at the beginning, then you realize it compromises your life or your standards of life, and then you stop, you're not going to have the money. So the analogy I want to give you here is that some people like pineapple on a pizza and some people don't like pineapple on a pizza, right? Sure. And they're going to now have a look at the huge family-sized pizza. And I never had pizza with a pineapple. By the way, I like it. I give it this as an analogy, right? If now you never had pizza with pineapples and you think it's disgusting and you think you need to eat the whole thing, You will run away from the restaurant saying, this is not for me. But what if I tell you the pizza does not need to contain pineapple? It might have things on it which you like. And guess what? We're going to slice it. And you're going to be going slice by slice till you are done with the whole thing. So don't put yourself into a situation where fitness is this overwhelming, super restrictive thing which requires so much sacrifice in my life that I rather stay away from it. Think as fitness is maybe just going for a half an hour walk 3 times per week. Then it's going to be 40 minutes 3 times per week till you achieve a positive negative balance of going for a walk 4 times and staying at home 3 times. Then you might start with simple exercises at home. They are great bodyweight exercises, maybe with a suspension trainer, which you call TRX. And then you perhaps build up the confidence and you walk into the gym for the first time. And if you do that, don't think that everyone has their eyes on you. This is like a sick person walking into a hospital. Everyone is there for a reason, and most people are minding their own business. So I know that there is this big entry barrier for most people. They will feel intimidated to walk to the gym. Perhaps you see someone like me, like there's this guy, yeah? But I've been doing this for 20 years, and I started as a sick child with a heart problem. A skinny, sick child with a heart problem that was consistently taking steps for 22 years to look like this. I did not get there overnight. So don't feel intimidated, but do one thing for your future self. Start walking and never stop.
True. I mean, Jacob, one day we will be like you as well. We have big muscles. But I would like to ask Mr. Al-Harith, because I know he's loving food. So Mr. Al-Harith, personally, what is the most challenges, diet or exercise? I know you love food, Harith, you know?
Fantastic question, Jassim. Fantastic question. But I think I'd like to come to it from a different angle. It's not about diet or food. It all depends on how do you approach it mentally. Are you going to give up on your cravings, or are you going to give up on your cravings, or are you going to dedicate yourself and think for your future self? All of us have our weaknesses. And if we cannot control our weaknesses, how are we going to move forward to reach to our destination? And as Yaqub said, we should take it one step at a time. If you have a big craving for a certain amount of food and you want to stop it overnight, don't do it, because you're going to get back to it. Fighting your own self is one of the hardest battles that a person can get into. So you have to take it as a stage by stage. Start reducing it slowly, until you reach to the comfort zone where you can just cut it out of your life. For example, sugar. Cutting out sugar out of your life, or salt, it is not easy to do, because those things do bring pleasure to us. And Dr. Arif can tell us exactly how biologically it works by giving us pleasure, but it should be done over time. A lot of people enjoy their coffee and their tea with 3 spoons or 4 spoons of sugar inside. Do not stop the sugar at one go. Take it half a spoon at a time. So what I'm trying to say over here is, if it's going to be a diet challenge or it's going to be the exercise challenge, it all depends on the way that you approach it and how you are determined to challenge this craving and reach to the destination and the journey that you want to go to.
Thank you, Mr. Al-Harith. Dr. Arif, really we'd like, I mean, Yaqubi was trying to mention about the fitness, and really here we'd like to know from the medical point of view, how crucial the physical fitness keep the heart healthy.
I mean, well, let's talk in general. Physical fitness was one part of the stress management. But this is one of the most important parts of stress management. So when we talk about stress management that has a direct impact, as we said, over our heart and health in general, we have to think of number one, prevention. So prevention is the best. If you come to me later on, that's too late. That's something that I will try to fix what the life did to you. But what Jacob is trying to say, if you maintain your shape, and this is something we emphasize most of the time to our patients. Look, you have overweight, you have this problem. It won't come from one day to another. Don't expect your weight to be next day from 120 or 140 to 100. You have to have patience. You have to wait. First, keep your weight. Keep it just for a month or two. Don't go beyond. Register, record your weight balance, and then try to reduce your weight. So prevention is what Jacob said. That's ideal. I mean, if you start with the age of children and the childhood, that's what we always provoke people to do. Go to the schools, encourage children at school to start up this kind of habit, to have it in their daily schedule. You know, that's what happens in Europe. That's why we have this kind of obesity prevalence in our country, because we start late. So prevention is number one strategy, and part of that is keeping fitness, your body in a good shape. And there are plenty of ways how to do. Jacob mentioned a couple of ideas, but there are so many ways. So nobody has got any excuse. Some of them, they come and say, well, our weather is different than Europe. The other says that we can't. We have so many. You could go swimming. You have gym at home. You can have so many ways where you could discharge your energy, discharge your extra calories that you have on board. So besides, then we would like to emphasize, we also recommend 5 times minimum per week. At least you go for 30 minutes to 40 minutes of walk. And that helps a lot to maintain also. If you want to eat more, I don't mind, welcome. You eat more, but then show me you walk more. So every calorie you digest, okay, you spend some more time to walk, more steps. It's very simple. I know from my personal experience, when I go abroad, for instance, in 4 weeks, I eat the same way that I eat here, but I come down with 7, 8 kilos down. Why is that? Why is that? This is a simple equation. But let's go back again with the stress management. I mean, we have to go back and pay some attention. Every one of us has his own circumstances, environment, and he should know what's the best for him. We could go, somebody likes music, he listens to music. The other goes for praying and he can relax for praying. Some goes to the friends and he can go and talk with family, with children. Be creative, get a new hobby for yourself, learn something, whatever. So you will know how to distract yourself from the kind of stress that can cause you harm one day. This is my message about how everyone should really take care of managing his stress in a very simple way and sustainability. You don't want to keep a strict diet and let's say you need everything. No, you need something on long term. You should be aware what you're doing, what you're eating. You should learn to read on the pack what you're eating. What is this? How many calories? If they're 100 grams. What is this? This awareness is not there. People dump things in the trolley of the supermarket without looking at it. And you go to other countries and you see them, they look at it, they check. This is what is missing in our culture. We should promote this. We should encourage people to do this. Thank you.
True, doctor. I mean, as you mentioned, we never read what is the total calories in each drinks or each chocolate or each whatever you mention it, and that is a part of we need to be educated for that, But here I'm asking Jacob, if I want to be in a good health, do I need to be in diet? Or what's the connection between diet and a good health?
All right, so I will first just express my opinion a little bit of what Harry said and what Dr. Arif said, because I feel like I'm missing out on the good stuff, yeah? The question was asked if it's really about the exercise or the diet, okay? I thought it's about the exercise for 10 years, and that's when I came up with my nickname, which I use on Instagram, called Still Too Fat. Even though I was going to the gym 6 times per week, I look into the mirror and I felt like given the amount of effort I put into this, I still do not look like the person I want to be, and that's why I call myself still too fat, right? Only once I understood really how to manipulate the food. Now, when we say diet, most people have an understanding of diet would fill two parameters. One is going to be time restricted. I'm going to do a diet for 4 weeks. I'm going to do a diet till the wedding. I'm going to do a diet till my summer vacation. And there's an end point to it, right? And the second thing, there will be a certain degree of restriction. So most diets will be eliminating something from your life. We might have the low carb diet or the ketogenic diet. I'm going to take an entire food group, which I actually like, and I remove it from my life. Then you might have the plant-based diet. So you're going to, again, remove an entire food group, which is animal-based protein from your life. And always we have this perception, it's time restricted and it has certain restriction, right? When you, and I want all the viewers to do this after we are done, go to Google and type in the meaning of diet in Greek language, in Greece, right? It actually means the way of life. Diet means the stuff we put into our mouth. And now comes the mind-opening moment when you ask him, what's the connection between diet and health? Every single cell that you are made out of has entered this opening right here. Today morning, today lunch, yesterday. Every single cell you made out of comes through here from food. We are literally built out of what we eat. And now what I was saying is that, I don't know why the connection
has... We cannot hear you.
Okay, I just have a look. I'm not muted.
Disconnected.
Unmute, mute. I try without this.
Yeah, now it's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we are good. So which part did you stop hearing? Till when? Till when did you?
You keep going.
Every cell.
Yeah, every cell. Perfect. Yeah, so basically every cell that you made out of, yeah. The doctor could explain this a bit better. We have something called the cell turnover, which is roughly 3 to 5%, depending on which cell, like liver, faster, biceps, slower. If you look at your biceps 60 days from now, not even a single cell is the same. It just keeps reproducing. And it uses the material which you feed yourself. So diet is very much important. Now, when we talk about fitness, many times we think that it's some superficial, veiny thing. We just want to look better, right? That is many times a driving factor, maybe for teenagers or for something who does not have the confidence to go to the beach. Yes, it's one of those driving factors of fitness. But the moment you really let yourself go and you become obese, how do you feel on a daily basis? How does it feel to get out of the car? How are your joints feeling? How much is your heart working overtime? How much higher is the chance of getting diabetes? How much higher is the chance of getting any chronic disease? You have much more inflammation in your body. You produce hormones you shouldn't be producing. That's why guys start producing female features on their breast, right? It's not only about looking better. It's about improving your quality of life and not only extending your life expectation, because now due to modern medicine, we can extend the life expectation. But how would you like to move and feel when you're 65 years old? Would you like to be on medication just so you are alive? Or would you be chasing your grandchildren alive? So when you're now asking about the connection between food and health, there's something I had to write down. It's actually a quote from Hippocrates, the old philosopher, and it says, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." So this was written almost 2,000 years ago, where they already understood that food is the real medicine. If you put vegetables on your plate on a daily basis, you don't have to buy synthetic multivitamins, right? If you eat fiber in the vegetables, you grow good gut bacteria in your gut. You don't need to buy probiotics for that, right? You're going to be covering all the needs from food. Of course, now the soil is a little bit more depleted of minerals than it used to be, but food really is the answer. And I give you now a very simple to understand analogy why exercise plays a very small role, right? You will be awake on average 16 hours per day. And let's say you go to the gym for 1 hour, right? It's really the other 15. And look at the percentage. It's really a huge difference. It's the other 15 which you do. And now what Harald mentioned with the cravings and with the food, of course, food is being designed in a way that we cannot resist those cravings. This is something from the prehistoric times. But I give you a perfect analogy. I am 90 kilos, not much fat on me. And if I go to the gym and exercise, I burn roughly 350 calories. It's a very demotivating number. It's an effort of 1 hour to burn 350 calories, but I don't go to the gym to burn calories. I go to improve my insulin sensitivity, to improve my bone density, to grow muscle, to all these things. If you are walking past a donut stand, the decision to buy or not buy a donut, which you didn't plan to buy, is a millisecond decision right here, and that's 350 calories. So focusing on work, 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 work. Can I have some more overtime from my boss? But you never look at your expenses. It's not the way to save money. At the same time, going to the gym, training, but not looking at what you do with your calories the other 15 hours does not lead to fat loss and better health. And this is an encouraging number. I hope the doctor will agree with me. What studies have proven, losing the first 5% of your body weight has the biggest impact on improvement in your health markers, your triglyceride, your insulin sensitivity, resting glucose, all of that. The first 5%. You don't have to go from being overweight to have a six-pack to be healthy. It takes the first 5%. So if you're 100 kilos, losing the first 5 kilos will have the biggest impact on your health. So think about it. Do I now impulsively buy a donut, which I didn't want to buy, and then I have to burn it off in the gym? Or do I apply this? And this is a very good takeaway for most of the viewers. You can look at the donut two ways. You can say, I really want to have the donut, but I cannot because I'm on a diet. This will last maybe a few weeks and then you break. Or you can say, I can have the donut. I can afford it. I'm an adult. My mother cannot tell me not to buy that, but I don't want because I have goals of becoming a better, fitter version of myself. And this is a millisecond decision.
True. Jacob and Hart, I will get back to you, but I can see Dr. Arif, he would like to maybe debate you something here, or you want to ask something?
No. I fully agree with what he says. The first 5 kgs are the most challenging, and to convince the patient or the person that don't look at the 50 kg that you will come down. When you try to give an incentive, you tell him, just come back to me in a month or 8 weeks and your weight is the same. This is what I ask my patients. Come just to me after the same weight. If you maintain this, then you are on the right track. I don't mind about later, but just keep this. Don't go 2 kilos every month you come to me, you are adding 2 kilos. That's the challenging, the breakdown, the time where Jacob also mentioned the 5 kgs or just maintaining this last. So
Doctor, I was trying to say you disagree, so I would like to, discuss.
No. I
don't mind.
I want to actually add something. Can I add something?
Please.
Because I really agree with the doctor, and I like that I'm pleasantly surprised.
Both of you agree here. I don't want you to agree.
I'm pleasant. I was expecting he will severely disagree with me.
That's what I'm
Focusing
trying to.
Look, this is a terrible statistics, okay? Over 90% of people who at one time in their life go on a diet to lose weight, over 90% regain it back. And out of this 90%, over 2/3 gain even more than they lost. It's not a problem to lose weight. If you had a dog which is overweight, what would you do with the dog? Would you buy him a detox tea and go for EMS therapy? No, you would walk the dog more and you will give him less food. That's what you would do. But humans are like, oh, what's the best time to have a protein shake? And should I do cardio in the morning or should I do in the evening? And we try to get stuck on small details. Walk more, eat less, lose some weight, and establish long-lasting life changes which allow you to maintain it, to keep it off. Losing weight is simple. All of you here, everyone who's watching knows how to lose weight. All of you has already lost weight at some point of time. And all of you have regained it back because you do it in an unsustainable manner. And that's what I try to teach people. That's why I'm not a personal trainer, but I'm an online fitness lifestyle coach because I manage your life, making small alterations which you do not perceive as swimming against the stream, but swimming downstream. It seems like it's no logic. It should be hard. It has to be easy because you will be able to swim downstream for a lot longer than upstream.
True. I mean, all that will lead us to the questions that I need to raise it to Mr. Harth. What is motivating you personally to follow a diet or exercise? How you motivate yourself?
I think I wouldn't use the word motivate here as much as I'll use the word fear, because also fear can motivate you. I think I'm worried about my future self. And I think down the line when I am 60, 70, 8 years old, inshallah, if I reach that age, I want to be the grandfather that Jacob is talking about, who's running after his grandchildren. I do not want to be the person sitting on a wheelchair. And it is what we do today. is what's going to result at that time. We have to choose now. We cannot decide that we're going to enjoy our life now and not have any discipline and do whatever and do everything against what Dr. Arif and Yaqub is saying and hope for the best. No, it does not work like that, my friend. There is self-discipline. We have to discipline ourselves because self-discipline is self-love. And that is the most important love that a person could give, is give it to yourself. If you cannot give care to yourself, how are you going to take care of the people around you? So that's the first stage. It's a complete mind shift that what we really have to do. If I'm going to take home something from this talk today, from Dr. Arif and Yaqub, it's a complete mind shift of how to start a fresh start. And it is a way of life. It is not only stop eating for a certain amount of time, exercise for the next 3 months, and then voila, I've reached to where I want to reach. No, it's a way of life and discipline.
True. You know, there was a question here from Mr. Tariq Khan. He mentioned, how do one keep himself fit in 12 hours on daily work? Jacob? There was a question, how do one keep himself fit in 12 hours on daily work?
Daily work, I mean, like when you are working daily for 12 hours.
Yes. How he can keep himself fit.
Okay. Perfect. I want to ask the gentleman, because it seems like that he's trying to play a victim of a situation, saying like, I have so much work, I can't do this. This is the, if I would get 100 dirhams for every single time I heard this, I would not be having this talk with you right now. I would be something on my own tropical island, right?
Sure.
I asked the gentleman, how much time do you spend doing this on your phone, on social media? How many TV shows on Netflix have you seen last month, right? How many phone calls with friends have you made which keep you in the circle of keeping you comfort? Like, I also have this terrible life. I also gonna now treat myself with ordering some crap from Deliveroo. Okay? It does not really take that much. It can be only 45 minutes if you don't have an hour. So people have this, what they call paralysis by analysis. If I can't go to the gym 6 times per week for an hour and a half, and I can't eat 5 perfectly cooked meals per day, I might as well not do it at all. This is like you're going for a meeting, you got a flat tire, and you have the choice of arriving a little bit late, or you get a knife and you slash all the other 3 and say like, that's it, I'm not going to the meeting. Find time. No one has time. I also don't have time. My day today started with an alarm at 5:30, and I was eating my quick first meal just before starting this, and now I'm sitting here. I also don't have time. I make time. That means shifting your fitness much higher up on your list of priorities than scrolling mindlessly on social media and observing life of strangers and making you feel even worse about yourself. That's my advice to the gentleman.
Thank you. Dr. Arif, I would like to make it easy for our audience, and I would like to hear from you, and all our audience, they would like to hear from you, that the tips that to keep our heart healthy at any age. Guide us on very simple 4 tips that we need to do it to keep our heart healthy as much we can at any age.
Sure, Jassim. And that is very important thing that you are mentioning, and I want to repeat it one more time, if you allow me, about the age. Look at your kids, please. Everyone who's listening to us, please look at your kids and feel pity for them. If you have not been doing this because of some lack of education at certain time, but your kids should have the chance now to do something good for their future. Please watch your kids, what they're eating, watch their behavior, try to guide them. They are our responsibility. From there, you start this age. That's the age you want to say. And then we come across the rest of the ages, or whatever you call it. You want to keep, maintain your shape. I think we can summarize it in a very simple way. Watch your weight, because that is the indicator. Stand on the scale, weighing scale daily, monthly, check your weight. and be careful and conscious about what's happening to you, which direction you are heading. So watch your weight. This is very simple. And then you know you are right or you are wrong, on the right track or the wrong track. Number two, try to be active whatever you can. Don't find excuses. Excuses are there to be broken. Excuses should not be chaining us, putting and frustrating us. We should break that chain and get out. Do what your mind says, not what your heart wants. So please do what your mind says. So it's giving yourself a few minutes a day to think in the late evening when you're sitting after the 12-hour working, you are laying down under the TV. Just give yourself 5-10 minutes. What have I done for my health today? Nothing. Did something. So that's how you review yourself before you go into bed. Number three, being active. And we said that avoid areas with smoking. Please, active smoking certainly is not something that I'm going to talk about because everyone knows the harm, but avoid passive smoking. They have also a high risk of cardiovascular disease. So avoid your kids. If you're a smoker, please go out. That will affect your behavior as well. So stay out of the house or don't allow people to smoke in the car or at home. This is very important. It has a very important impact on cardiovascular disease. So avoid smoking and smoking areas. And certainly what we said, food, healthy food that I mentioned already, just watch what you're eating. I always say, watch what you're eating before you put it. You are approaching the food. See, what is that? Is that enough what I'm eating? You know, our habit in the country here is say, eat, come more. You are generous. You should eat more. I always now keep shouting at my mother at home, for instance. I said, hey, come on, stop telling me to eat. Okay, you want me to die? Stop. Okay, don't eat that. Stop eating. Okay, that's the way, because this is our tradition. You are showing that you are generous. Come on, eat another plate, another plate. What you do, there are a lot of tricks. It's sitting with a dietitian once in a while. It's one time. Everyone has got insurance now. Sit with a dietitian. They have really very nice tips and tricks how to guide you, not to keep chips on the table, drinking water, stay away, don't buy soda, so many tips and tricks. So food, healthy food, it's really very important. Just watch what you're eating and what that can do to you, and sleep well. Because sleeping, nowadays, people sleep 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours a day or at night, I don't know, according to their shift. This is very dangerous. It's an cumulative impact. So sleeping, if you sleep over the weekend, doesn't mean you have done good to yourself, because 5 days you haven't slept well. And now you're coming over the weekend, sleeping a couple of hours extra, and you think, oh, I did well to my body. It's not like that. It's not counted like that. So sleeping is very important. Please do not sleep less than 6 hours. This is very important for your health, for your heart, for your body, for your organs. They need to recover from the daily stress. They need to recover. So please sleep well. And with that, I will finish my tips for tonight. Thank you.
I would like to ask about that sleeping. If there is different sleep at 9 o'clock or at 12 o'clock midnight?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Unfortunately, the modern life did very harm to us. We have TV around the clock. Just maybe you remember in the past, we used to turn off the TV at 12 midnight, no TV more.
Absolutely.
Why the TV is not working, continuing till 1 a.m. We were dreaming to have it at 1 a.m. to turn it off. But now it's on the clock. And there's no duties without shifts anymore. So almost everyone is getting shifts, night shifts, day shifts. Unfortunately, this is really modern lifestyle that did harm to our health. But as much as you can, try to sleep during the day, because your hormone, your internal clock, this is totally different. We have something called circadian rhythm inside your body. The hormones, they get out of your glands at certain time with certain, especially cortisol or steroids, cortisone. They come in the morning, in the afternoon peak. You have curves. Your hormones got special curves. So that means there is something, your heart rate goes down at night. During the day, your heart rate is 120. At night, it's a 60, 50. So you cannot change this thing. This is from God. God gave us this body and we should protect this. So as much as you can, sleep at night, during the day, whenever it's possible.
Thank you, Doctor. Jacob, I would like to ask you the last questions here. How to bring the balance between mental and physical well-being?
Good. I would like to answer this question and also give you very simple, as I said, to apply tips that people don't walk away
Please.
from this just with some motivational talk, but also do that. Yeah.
Please.
So with you asking about how to bring a balance between mental and physical well-being, right?
Yes.
We started this whole discussion where Dr. Arif rightfully said that stress is a big contributor to basically the mental health, which is being driven down by stress, impacts your body, right? Stress is many times being looked at something of a negative nature, and also mentioned the hormones, adrenaline, noradrenaline. Everything has an upside. Adrenaline and noradrenaline are also fat mobilizing hormones. And physical exercise is also being perceived as stress by your body, but it then induces a positive adaptation. So don't think of my perfect life will be when I just will not do anything at all. And I never will physically challenge myself, because seeking positive stress is very, very much important to you. We have been designed to survive in the harshest of environments and react to the stress. So there's the first thing, that don't think of stress only as something which is bad. Seek also good stress for yourself. The second thing is basically the mental part is where I was started, having a very positive self-dialogue. Okay, I'm overweight now, right? I look in the mirror, I'm not happy with what I see, but now I'm gonna take off my pink glasses and I stop looking for excuses that whose fault is it? It's my fault. I am a reflection of my lifestyle choices. It's not sugar and Coca-Cola. I give you now a simple thing. I show this to everyone. How many people do you know that physically exercise at least 3 times per week, eat mainly home-cooked food, don't smoke, drink nothing at all or in moderation, but every day they drink 2 liters of a soft drink? There's no one like this. You don't know anyone like that. But now we're going to turn the order around. How many people do you know that drink a 2 liter of soft drink per day, don't drink in moderation, they drink in excess, they smoke regularly, they eat mainly food bought outside, and they don't physically exercise at all, but they all try to blame it on the Coke. So have a good hard look at yourself and stop blaming it on others. And then you start developing this positive attitude that I actually have control over what's happening with me. And then when you regain control, you start being a much happier person. That's when then the positive mindset comes in. So have a good hard look at yourself. Keep in mind, it's unfortunately your fault. It's not COVID, it's not the Coke, it's not the sugar, it's your fault. And I would like to give you some takeaways which you can actually apply, no matter if it's during the pandemic, no matter if it's next year or 100 years from now. What can you do to your health without joining a gym, without counting a single calorie, right? I teach people how to keep themselves accountable by looking at the macronutrients, counting calories and so on. But let's say you don't want to do that, okay? What is it that you can actually do for yourself? The first thing, simply 2 words, move more. When I give you an example, when I go to the Dubai Mall, I don't park close to the entrance of the mall because that is always taken and I spend more time looking for parking. I park as far as possible from the entrance because that is the closest to the exit. It forces me to walk more. And when I'm done shopping, I get into the car and I'm out. This is a simple thing. Don't stand on the escalator. Walk. Don't wait for the elevator. Walk. Simply find ways to move more. Buy any fitness tracker. Set yourself a goal. Let's say 5,000 steps. Let's start with 5,000 steps. Doesn't need to be 15. Then make it 6,000. Make it 7,000. And then hold yourself accountable. If you didn't get your step count, go out and instead of scrolling, walk a little bit more. Look at the weekend of something which allows you to do things with your body. So go for a hike to Hatta, go on the bike ride, go down to Kite Beach, wake up a bit earlier, experience life. Life doesn't happen when you sleep because you've been watching Netflix at 3 o'clock at night. So that's something you can easily then apply. Now let's move over to the food, yeah? Our food chain starts in the supermarket. If you know that certain things trigger cravings because they have been unfortunately designed, so you don't stop eating the Dorito chips. So if you buy a bag this big, you're gonna go through the whole bag. It has been designed to do this. It triggers the reward mechanism. don't buy crap. Second, reflect how you feel. We always crave the salty, greasy food. You want to have a burger, right? You crave it the whole week. Now it's shit day.
You.
Yeah, you can't hear me?
Jacob,
again?
Disconnected.
Okay. I just try mute, unmute.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
No? Then I just switch this off.
Yeah, that's fine.
Better
that's
now?
Fine. That's fine. That's
okay,
fine.
Perfect. So second thing is self-reflect on how food makes you feel. We always feel very excited before we go in to eat a greasy burger with French fries. How do you feel 5 minutes afterwards? Sure. You feel remorse, you feel like you would not have eaten it. So reflect on the food and start perhaps eliminating food from your life, which makes you feel like crap, because that will turn you, keep in mind, you are made out of what you eat. Another one, people are afraid of sugar. And it has been proven that actually oil is a #1 contributor to excess calories. Avoid oil at any cost. If you think that olive oil is healthy, but you are pouring 5 tablespoons of olive oil on your food throughout the day, that's 500 calories that your body is perfectly good at absorbing and utilizing. Avoid oil. Rice does not make you fat. Putting oil on rice makes you fat. This is a simple thing you can do. Just eliminate oil from your life. And here comes the kicker. Don't drink calories. If you drink a bottle of apple juice, you are satiated for maybe, which means full, for maybe 3 minutes. Later on in the day, we're hungry again, right? If you would have saved yourself the calories from drinking and spend them on eating, you would not be hungry. And the key to a successful fat loss diet is not being hungry. So those are the things you can actually take away. And again, don't have this paralysis by analysis. Start doing something. It does not need to be all or nothing. Small steps towards a fitter you.
Thank you, Jacob. Mr. Al-Harith, honestly, how often you go to McDonald's? Seriously.
Only when I go with you, Jassim.
Good comeback. Good comeback.
Jassim, I going over all these topics, I know we're out of time, but there was a very important topic that I would like to maybe take just 2 minutes from Dr. Arif and Jacob about this specific matter. We have all been taught that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And now we know that there is intermittent fasting. So I would like to know what Dr. Arif's point of view on that and what Jacob's point of view on that, and what advice can they give us? Because as I said, there is the myth that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. What should we do? Should we have breakfast or should we stick to the intermittent fasting? Please.
Thank you very much, Har, for this question. I mean, again, we would go back to the basics. Let us simplify the life, okay? Not to go and make kind of regulations and packages, and sometimes it's difficult for people to co-op with this. Make it simple. Breakfast is the most important meal that we have. This is no doubt. And dinner, I say, is the worst thing that we are doing, and especially late dinner. So dinner, 6 p.m., light dinner, it helps a lot to save you a lot of calories. The breakfast is very important. Again, doesn't mean we open everything. And you know our breakfast. We have balali, we have famir, we have honey, if you go for the traditional breakfast, oh my God, that is enough for the whole Ramadan. One breakfast is enough. I see sometimes they bring me here in the office. What am I supposed to do with this? So breakfast is very important, but if somebody feels himself better with intermittent fasting or some other diet system he wants to follow, I don't mind. But you should have, because otherwise you will get more hungry at noontime, and then comes the meal, you know, at noon, where you come and jump and digest as much as you can to feel so full. So you should be moderate. Whatever you eat, you should be moderate. I was just going through Jacob mentioning about diet again, just two points I came to across my mind quickly. Justin, how much do you think if you would take a glass of carrot juice, what do you think, how much calories in that? Carrot juice.
Well, I think it is could be 200.
almost 300, 350 treats. Carrot is 20 calories, and a juice, a glass of carrot juice, is almost a 300, reaches a 300. They use 15 to 20 carrots to make that glass of juice. So this kind of information, I didn't know by the way myself. I used to drink thinking that I am doing something, taking some low calorie juice rather than taking watermelon or some honey melon or something. Then I was shocked the moment I saw the calories in that glass. I was really gonna get a heart. I used to take every day juice full of carrot juice in my office. So knowing what you're drinking and asking and reading, a bit of reading. We need to read about what we see. And the other thing, which is, it came to my notice also, vegetables. People think eating vegetables is very healthy. That's very true, fact, but not vegetables. You know what's oil? He's saying oil, avoid oil. When you eat fried fruit, vegetables, that's the worst thing you can do to yourself because they suck oil. They are filled with oil. So fresh vegetables are different than fried with oil and mixed with oil. That has like this kind of concept we should understand. Where are the calories hidden? Where are they hidden? Misconception. So breakfast, yes, I would go for breakfast, but also in moderate way. No exaggeration, please.
Thank you, doctor. I mean, you're really scaring us. We don't know what exactly we eat. Vegetable, fruits. I'm asking myself why I host today this webinar. Jacob, I could elaborate more on heart concern as we are running out.
I wish we would find a topic that we heavily disagree on a little bit earlier in the talk show. First of all, the thing with the carrot juice, look, you need to look at any juice. They just basically drinking sugar. Doesn't matter where it comes from. I have to agree, carrot juice does not have 400 calories. Maybe your glass was like a trophy from a polo tournament, because 330 milliliters of apple juice is 160 calories, and apple juice is the richest in sugar, gradually more than Coca-Cola. So if you go to McDonald's and you think that you give the apple juice to your kids, it's more sugar than Coca-Cola. But coming to breakfast, like I'm a practitioner of intermittent fasting from 2012, so I might be a little bit biased, but the more people I coach, which is now over 300 people I coach online, the more I understand that it needs to fit your lifestyle. So if you wake up in the morning and you are hungry, and I will try to tell you that skipping breakfast is the best thing for you, it goes against your stream. At the same time, you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like eating because your cortisol levels are different. Maybe you take a bit longer to digest. And I force you to eat breakfast. Again, you do something against your stream. Unfortunately, it's always about the total calories in a day. The downside of intermittent fasting would be someone would not be eating during the day. And then it feels like he can order a bucket of KFC because, well, I haven't eaten actually that much, right? The other way would be, look at the sustainability. So if I would follow Dr. Arif's advice and I start eating my dinner at 6 o'clock and then I watch Netflix at 9 with my wife, and at 9 we see a scene where someone eats or my wife starts eating next to me. I wish that I did not have breakfast. I wish I did not waste calories on breakfast, because now is the moment where I want to socialize, relax, recover from the day, and that's when I want to eat. Our ancestors did not wake up in the morning and eat Kellogg's cornflakes. They did not have the option to order something from delivery or whatever. I believe that we have been actually designed to first go through the struggle, use the triglycerides, which build up during sleep in your bloodstream as your insulin drops, utilize that for energy, and first go and find the food. So I don't think we have been designed to wake up in the morning and eat. And there is another misconception. We feel that if we don't eat in the morning, our metabolism will slow down. We think of metabolism as some lawnmower which needs the action of starting in the morning with a bowl of Kellogg's cornflakes to start it. Metabolism is your thing which keeps happening all the time. You don't have to kickstart it or whatever. You would have to stop eating for up to 72 hours for your thyroid gland to actually drop its output by up to 8%. Not eating at 8 o'clock, eating at 11 o'clock, nothing happens to your metabolism. So listen a little bit to your preference. So if I would follow Dr. Arif's advice, it would be very difficult for me to fall asleep. At the same time, I don't want to stuff myself before going to sleep, because I will observe, I will have indigestion in the morning, I will have acidity, it messes up my sleep. So there are no extremes where whether I do intermittent fasting and I eat all my calories before going to bed, or I'm going to have a huge breakfast. It's all about the total calories during the day and finding a way of dieting or finding a way of living eating that suits you. Not hungry in the morning, don't eat. Are you hungry? Eat something, but make it nutritious. Make the calories count, because even if you don't count calories, calories always count.
Thank you. Thank you, Jacob. Mr. Harith, I hope you're satisfied from the answer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mr.
Thank you
Harith.
very much, Doctor. Thank you, Yaqub. Thank you for your
Thank you.
time. Thank you for your experience, and thank you for giving back to the community these important pieces of information. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. Thank you. At the end, we all want a healthier and wealthier, and always we pray to God to keep us health and wealth. But without health, there's no enjoyable in the wealth. Thank you for being with us, and we look forward again to see you. Stay safe and say yes to life. This is Jassim Al-Bastaki at ExpertsTalk Show.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.